Hey everybody, Prep Nurse 1 here. Today is Sunday, September 27th, 2020. Before we get into the video, I just want to remind everybody that I will be live streaming tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm not sure what the topic is going to be yet. I haven't figured that out, but I will get that set up, and I will. You'll see it in the description when I get that set up. But I will be live streaming tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so please join me for that. We always have pretty decent talks, and like I said, I look forward to doing that. So I will see you all tonight at 8 p.m. And so I wanted to, it's very breezy today, and I'm just going to kind of kick this around so you can really see the tops of the trees are really starting to change now. Really starting to change. It is absolutely amazing. It's happening pretty quick, I'll be honest with you. But that time of year, that's what happens. We have, today's a nice day. Tomorrow is supposed to be in the 80s, and then we have a stretch coming up where we're going to be in the 60s for highs and then the 40s for lows. So, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do? But anyway, so I wanted to talk today about breaking patterns and breaking cycles, and kind of get into that a little bit, and how each one of us individually can make those type of changes. And I'm going to give you some examples of some stuff, and I'm not going to obviously name names, but I'm just going to give you an example of some stuff that happens. A lot of times, and a lot of this is going out more for the ladies, because the ladies have a tendency to do this more, and I don't know why. But this is, you know, this is going out to you ladies out there for the most part, and it does affect men too. But when you are in a negative or a bad relationship or a situation, and you're yelled at all the time, you're put down all the time, you're screamed at constantly, okay? What? So that becomes the normal, okay? So that's what you're used to. You're used to somebody belittling you, calling you names, telling you that you're stupid, that you're not good enough, you know, nobody's ever going to want you, and stuff like that, okay? So when somebody comes along, and this is the weird thing, when somebody comes along and treats that person decently, and is, you know, treats that person with respect and kindness, and you know, and doesn't call them names, and doesn't put them down, they don't know how to handle that, because that's not the normal. That's not what they're used to, and it's actually frightening for them. They really are frightened by that, and it's uncomfortable. I guess uncomfortable would be more the right word, because again, they don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to handle that, because that's not what they're used to. So my challenge to all of you ladies and gentlemen out there that have been in those type of relationships and in those type of environments, break that cycle, break that pattern, because here's the other problem that goes along with that, okay? You may think it only affects you, what goes on, okay? You may think that it only affects you, but it affects everybody around you, especially your children. That's who actually it affects the most, because let's say if you're a mom and you have a young son, and all she has seen, or this young man has seen growing up, is men that the mother is involved with treating her badly, talking down to her, saying all kinds of awful, nasty things. He thinks that's how you treat women, okay? And that obviously is not the way that it should be. And again, this can pertain to men too. I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I don't talk a lot about my first marriage. My first wife was Sicilian, okay? And not Italian, Sicilian. It's a big, big difference. And for whatever reason, and I'm just going to say her, but it's generally in the culture of Sicilians, they like to fight. Not physically, but verbally, okay? And so my first wife was a very negative, very unhappy person. And when you're around that constantly, and somebody putting you down, talking down, saying all kinds of awful things to you, if you're around that negativity, it does wear off on you. It really does. And you start to act in that same manner, that negativity, unless you make a choice not to. Again, that's why I really encourage everybody to make a change. Sit there and realize this is not healthy, this is not right, this is not the way things should be, that's not how you or anybody else deserves to be treated. And what kind of an example do you want to have for your children? Do you want your daughter, if you're a mom, again, to grow up and think, well, I can't be with somebody, they don't love me, unless they're saying all kinds of awful things and controlling me and all those type of things? It sets a very bad precedent. It's so much better to be in a positive environment, an uplifting environment, someone that is encouraging you to, be the best person that you can possibly be. Be there for support. And, and support is not always monetary support. Support can be in the form of, someone that encourages you to go ahead and strive for those goals that you're trying to do. Again, like I talk about at the end of my videos, when I talk about the only person holding you back is you. And I'm going to give you another example of something, okay? And again, I'm going to use myself again. When I was in my second marriage, because I was from a broken home, and mom and dad went their separate ways when I was very young, I didn't want that for my children. I didn't. A buddy of mine had asked me one time before my ex left. He said, yes, I know, I see you. Look who's following me around. I know, you're a good boy. A buddy of mine asked me one time before my ex left, he said, let me ask you a question, and I said, sure. He said, if it wasn't for the kids, would you still be with Amy? And I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wouldn't tolerate what's going on, not at all. But I didn't want my kids to be in that broken home. But what I did not realize at the time was, yes, oh, I know, I see you. Stop. I'm trying to make a video. Okay, so stop, down. What my kids didn't what I didn't realize at the time, it was not a healthy environment for my kids at all. And so when we went our separate ways, I never discouraged my kids from spending time with their mom. It's still their mom no matter what, but I was a much happier person being out of there and not being upset all the time and not understanding, a lot of why things were the way that they were, okay? But, and I don't need to get into the details of all that, but anyway, it was unhealthy. And getting away from that, it made me realize that it was also affecting my children, which was not a healthy thing, and I did not want that to do that. So, like I said, I always encourage my kids to spend time with their mom because it's still their mom no matter what. I remember Heather asking me one time, if mom went and got help and got herself cleaned up, would you ever take her back? And I remember, and I talked to Heather and I said, no, honey, I couldn't. Too much water's under the bridge, too many things had happened. And that is ship has already sailed, and the huge thing for me is trust. Okay, huge thing. When you lose that trust and you don't trust that person anymore, you never feel the same about them again. So but again, if you are in those situations, ladies and gentlemen, because it really does pertain to both, and it's an unhealthy situation, and you think, well, I'm going to stay because of the kids, you're actually doing the kids a disservice. Being in that negative environment, being around that negativity and that negative person. And what do you want for your children? Where do you want your children to be? What is your dream for them? Okay, so for me, I think it's really, really important to I was not just when the situation with me and my ex happened. I didn't realize how much adversely the whole situation was affecting the children, because mom and dad were upset with each other most of the time, and there was tension constantly. There was a lot of negativity going on, and so those things those things are not good, and they do affect the children as well. And so, you know, again, you want to set that example. And it's hard to break those patterns, and it's hard to break those cycles. It really is, because when you're used to that, when you're used to being treated a certain way, and, you know, you get used to it, that becomes the normal. So when somebody comes along and treats you awesome, or treats you, you know, decently, and has, you know, no expectations of negativity, a lot of times people will pull away from that because they don't know how to deal with it. They just don't. They don't understand it, because, and then, you know, people will be like, you know, do you really like me? You know, and it's just, it's interesting, because it's like, you know, I don't know, like I said, it's, so I'm actually, where I'm standing up here in the other part of my property, I don't come back here much, just because, you know, I've been focusing on the front half of my property for quite a while. But I kind of wanted to show you all the stuff that was over here that we had moved out of this area. There's a huge stump right there that was just like too big. But everything else had been moved and pushed up into this area. But this whole area through here, back behind here, going up the hill, and back up the hill this way, this is all mine as well. So this is more foresty, if you will. You know, eventually, I mean, realistically, I could put something else in this area. You know, clean this out even more, flatten it out. I want to put the pond back over in here. You see the area, and you can see there's an area right there, no trees grow. Nothing's been touched in there, but no trees grow, because that is a marshy, boggy area of the property, because there's a spring over there, and excuse me, it's always wet, so no trees are growing there. But you look around everywhere else, there's trees, you know, obviously everywhere. I'm going to tell you what, guys, I am so blessed to be here. It's a wonderful place to live, and it's been, I mean, realistically, I'm gonna stop talking for a second. I just want you again to listen. All you hear is the breeze. It's quiet. It's peaceful. You know, it is amazing. It really, really is. So again, just it's been wonderful being here, and you know, and everything else. So anyway, I am going to jump off here. I definitely want your feedback on this. I think this is an important topic. I think people need to realize that whatever adversity and negativity is going on in their lives, it doesn't just affect you. It affects the people that you care about. It affects your children. And, you know, I definitely want to hear your guys' feedback on this, because I just, I think it's sad. It really, really is sad, you know, and it's, you know, unfortunately, it's how life is sometimes. But it's hard to break those cycles and those negative patterns, but we have to. For your own mental health, for the mental well-being of your children, and, you know, just to have a decent life. Because I know, like, when I finally made the move with, like, my first wife, and I left my first wife, and I knew I was never going back, it was just a wonderful feeling that nobody was going to talk to me like that again, you know, and treat me like that. And, you know, and, you know, when I talk about it, treat people the way you want to be treated, it's important. It is absolutely important. So, anyway, again, remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important that we tell those people how we feel. Also remember STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you work at it methodically, it will come together. It just takes time. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to do just fine, okay? Negativity breeds negativity. Negative people want to bring you down. They don't want you to be happy, okay? And that's, unfortunately, a very true statement. So be happy in spite of them. And again, guys, I will see you at 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, for the live stream, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.